Thank you. I've been following you for about a year now, year and a half, and as I've changed myself and my thoughts and moved towards joy, I found everybody around me is kind of like falling away from me. And I'm feeling lonely, not real lonely, but I'm having the most recent trouble with my mom. We've talked to each other for years, 3 times a day, and now we are separated. I don't talk to her at all it's been about a month or 2. So I'm having a lot of trouble with understanding how I was so connected to my family. And as I change, now my family is kind of not there.
We can show you what to do, and we can explain to you why it is, too, and it'll make perfect sense to you. What happens, and it's a really natural thing, as you are a creator and a communicator, you want others to get you. We've been saying you want to find mutuality with others. And so most humans are looking around, talking to other humans, looking for similar points of interest, wanting to find compatibility. But most of all, it's because you really want them to get you. And so sometimes without even knowing you're doing it, you're adjusting yourself all over the place so that they'll get you. You're all psychic in that way. You may not realize that you are. So you're taking everyone's temperature, and you're trying not to go too far, and you're trying to keep yourself in this sort of state of mutuality. You get what we're talking about. Now hear these words. In essence, using them as your sounding board in order to adjust yourself to them. And this is a statement that we really want you to hear. You've replaced your inner being with them. Instead of seeking mutuality or harmony with your inner being, who is the most evolved aspect of you, who stands as that vibrational equivalent of all that you've become. Instead, when you try to find mutuality with your mother, often the reason that it doesn't feel so good is because you're trying to talk about the things that she would like to talk about instead of the things that your inner being is talking about. Your inner being is talking about the loveliness of the world. Your mother isn't. Your inner being is talking about your value. Your mother isn't.
No.
And so as you seek mutuality with your mother for the sake of keeping the peace, then you keep her happy. Esther used to say occasionally to Jerry, I don't want to hurt their feelings. And Jerry would say, you'd rather that your feelings be hurt? And what we would say about that is, when you aren't reaching for your highest good or for your mutuality with your inner being, but are instead looking to please others, then often you can get in the habit of doing that. And so you find around you sometimes relationships that don't feel as good as they might feel. Now, we want to make a very important statement here. We really want you to hear this. We are not suggesting that you all run away from your mothers. We are suggesting you'd be happier if you did. No. We aren't suggesting that you run away from your mothers. What we are suggesting is that you, for a little while, seek your harmony with who you really are until you're steady in that. And then you'll be able to find your points of satisfaction even in the hard cases. One day we were counseling a mother. She was talking about her son, her adult son. And she said, Abraham, if I follow your guidance, my son will feel like I'm forsaking him. And we said to her, but how could that be if every time you think about him, you're making a list of his positive aspects? How could that be if you are looking for things about him that satisfy you? How could that be if you are finding more and more ways to stay in full love of him? How could he not feel that? And she then understood what we mean. But if he's in an attitude of not love, and she is, then there's no harmonics going on there anyway. And so we wanted to tease you a little bit with your opening statement when you said, everybody's going away. And we wanted to say, well, while some are leaving, others are coming. Those who are a vibrational match to who you are really are coming. Most people, we're going to compliment you in this way. Most people don't have such an obvious experience as you've had, because most people don't really think only about what they want. They think about all of it. In other words, if you've got someone in your life that's giving you a lot of trouble, and they don't go away, if you really find only what you want and you stay only in vibrational alignment with what you want, so you don't offer a vibrational frequency about the things that they've been bringing to you that you don't want, they have to go away. But if they stay anyway and just give you grief, that's because you're not as pure in your thoughts as you think you are. You're aware of what bothers you about them, so you're holding them to you. Well, you really don't want to break ties with everyone. We don't want you to just go out and think such only pure thoughts that the people that you do care about, who have traits that you could just as well do without, all leave you. We think that it would be a good thing just not to give so much attention to the traits that bother you. And so you'll see more and more and more and more of the parts of them that resonate with you. Here's the big statement. We would not spend any time trying to build a relationship with someone that took us away from our inner being. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would not sacrifice alignment and love and clarity and longevity. We would not sacrifice that fullness of alignment for the sake of keeping any friendship going, even if the friend is your mother. We would not do that. But we also would not turn away from them physically, because the vibrational patterns that you've got are still there. Instead, we would do, as you were talking about doing, we would bridge the beliefs gradually. So let's play that game. We're over time here, but let's take a minute and do this. So you want to play about this just for a minute or two? So what do you think was one of the dominant characteristics that made it easy for you to put some space of time and distance and talking between you and your mother? Why did you make that decision?
Oh, we argued. There was alcohol involved, and there was arguing, and she said, "Get the fuck out of my life."
Say it again?
Well, there was an argument, and she's drinking and doesn't want me involved in her life, and she said, "Get out of my life."
So you don't like her bossing you around, and she doesn't like you bossing her around.
Probably.
And both of you want to boss the other one around.
Oh, okay. I worry about her because she's 79, and I'm the only one that would take care of her when she gets ill or sick or...
So she better shape up, or she's going to be a burden to you.
Oh my God, yes. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. We get that. But you're the same in that you both are independent. You want your independence, and you really don't want someone telling you a bunch of things that you don't want to hear. Because both of you do want to lean in the direction of how your inner being feels about you and who you really are. It will be asking a lot, especially since we've already encouraged you here in this conversation. But is there anything about your mother that you easily can appreciate and feel satisfaction about?
Yeah, over the years.
Yeah, we can feel how active it is in your vibration. Probably something you think about every single day.
Okay,
but dig deep and see if you can find anything.
She works really hard, and she is very she got all good grades in school, and she's an attorney. she's a lot of opposite of what I am in those endeavors. Her work ethic and her education and her intellect way off
all right,
the charts.
So you're doing what most physical beings do. You're taking, it's all right, we asked for it. You're taking her characteristics and sort of sorting them into piles of good and bad, and you found some things that are very virtuous about her that have annoyed the life out of you for as long as you can remember, because she sort of used them to club you about the head with what good grades she got, meaning what bad grades you got, and so forth. So you just gave us more of what you've been feeling, and it's logical, isn't it? Because you're far from satisfied. You're downright annoyed over here. You're not in the it could go either way zone. You've already gone way over there to the point that you might not ever speak to her again, and so we're asking quite a bit for you to come back. And yet we still know that there are things, there is something. Now, if we were really teaching you in an effective way, we would say to you, just don't think about your mother. Think about something else that satisfies you. And you could easily do that. And yet, here's the thing. If someone on the telephone called you and said, "You don't know me. I got really good grades in school.
What'd you do?
And
right.
I'm never going to call you again," you'd say, "All right." You might even say, "Good for you, I didn't." And you wouldn't feel any negative emotion about it. But when it is your mother, when it is your mother, then it's not likely that your thoughts about them are going to cease because you are tied to them in so many ways. So the fact is this: it is unlikely that you're not going to think about your mother. And right now, it's unlikely that when you think about her, you're going to feel good. So you're screwed.
I am.
Because you can't not think about her and you can't feel good when you do. So what are you going to do? You've got to do something about this. You've got to find some way that you can think about your mother and feel satisfaction. So we'll just give you some things that we know about it. Your parents are your avenue into this physical experience. And oh, what an avenue that is. Your source energy wanting to come into this experience, and she provided the avenue for you to come in. That's something to feel some appreciation for. Not only that, but she never feathered your nest. And that's something too, because you never really did replace your inner being with her, because she never felt really good to you when you did. And that's why when you started hearing about us, when you started hearing about your inner being, you took to it in a really easy way, because it resonated with you. You have known all through your life that it is supposed to feel better than it was feeling. And so it was easy for you to gravitate toward your own guidance system. She helped you a lot in that way, didn't she? That's something to feel some appreciation or some satisfaction for. She's really, really independent. She does not want anybody taking care of her. She doesn't even want to discuss the fact that someday she might need to be taken care of. And that whole subject just annoys her so much because it's sort of taking the legs out from under her. That independence is something that you might want to honor and respect. One day, Esther got off a shuttle bus and her daughter got off ahead of her, and her daughter reached out and took her mother's hand. And Esther said, "Get away from me." And Tracy said, "I was just being polite." And Esther said, "Stop it. Stop being polite in the way that says, 'Mother, you might fall off the shuttle bus if I don't help you.'" Esther said, "Do you know how many places I go and you're not there? Aren't you worried that I might just tumble into a gutter and die somewhere if there's not someone there to help me off the shuttle bus?" Esther wasn't mad at Tracy. Esther understood, but Esther is wanting to speak her independence. And so is your mother. She's wanting to say, "I have resources." Isn't that a good part of what you're arguing about?
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it? And would you want to diminish her sense of her own autonomy and her own well-being? Don't you like it? But you see how far you took it? You said, "We argue because blah, 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 blah. And I'm the one that's going to have to take care of her." You hear what you're calling out to her? You're saying to her in lots of ways, not only are you not going to be able to take care of yourself, but you are going to then be a burden to me.
Okay. I've never looked at it that way.
We know. Everyone is selfishly oriented and everyone wants to feel good. And everyone is reaching for the best feeling thought that they can find. And you just have to give her a break and understand that that's what she's got going on. Meanwhile, you don't worry about what she's doing. You don't worry about what she's spewing to you. You only worry about what you're spewing to her. Just make sure as best you can that when you're thinking a thought about her, that you're moving in the direction of satisfaction. I like that my mother's independent. I like that she likes to do her own thing. I like that she's not calling me every day and wanting me to take care of her. I like that she's always been that way. I like that she wanted that for me too. I like that she wanted independence for me too. And I like that I have found my independence in my relationship with my inner being. I like that she pointed me in the direction of finding my own resources. The reason that I'm as stable as I am is in large part due to the things that my mother offered to me or didn't offer to me. She was really a good choice. She was a choice I made from non-physical. I made that choice of her. I knew that she would not feather my nest. I knew that she would allow me to be independent. I knew that I would have the best possible life experience being set off on my beginning with her. I knew that. She kept her word to me, and now I'm keeping my word to her. I love her, and I don't need to be with her all day, every day. But I love her. I love her. And what you'll begin to notice is she'll start coming around on more friendly basis. Just dart in and dart out, dart in and dart out, dart in and dart out. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.